Hi Leo, welcome to your November reading. I know I'm a little bit late. I really appreciate your guys' patience. I'm pleasantly surprised at how patient you guys have been with me. But I think that right now you guys are so focused on creating and putting yourself out there, but it does make me wonder if you are worried that people aren't seeing you. Like they're not seeing the real you, or they're not hearing you, or I don't know, something. Like I feel like you're almost feel invisible, maybe even to an earth sign. You sort of feel invisible with the King of Pentacles coming out. This could also be that you're just working on your coins, and that is always okay. Some of you are, man, they got to do the yard work, like right when I start the camera. I mean, we're going to go for it. We're just going to go for it. Some of you are leaving an earth sign, or an earth sign left you, and that was really painful. The Eight of Cups and the Three of Swords, or this Mercury retrograde is making you realize that you have to leave this person behind, or this person comes back from the past and breaks your heart all over again. It's going to be different for everybody, but there is definitely a theme of releasing the emotional baggage that you've been holding on to, and knowing that once you are able to do that, it's like you're aware that you have to release it, but it's so hard, right? It's so hard. You're going to, but once you're able to release this, you can start building again. Like it's like a clean slate. It's like a fresh slate. You can just start building from the ground up, right? So we have the Fool and the Three of Pentacles. And here's the thing, is it's going to take vulnerability for you to, because bravery does not exist without vulnerability. And vulnerability is the key to being brave and courageous and allowing yourself to stand up for yourself and to no longer, like, I feel like you were settling anyways. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to settle. There's so much out there for you. And this could be in a job as well. With the King of Pentacles could be your boss. This could also be that you already left this person many moons ago, and that this Mercury retrograde is sort of bringing it back. It's like hashing it back up, rehashing the pain and the hurt, because it's almost as if you need to, for sure, like 100% make sure that you left this person behind in your past, that you're no longer holding on to the painful remnants of what that was, right? And so for some of you, it's literally like, I'm done, 10 of Swords, the worst is behind me, I'm not dealing anymore, I'm out. Peace, right? And because you want to rebuild, but this Mercury retrograde might be rehashing some things for you, especially because it's Scorpio season. I don't know about you guys, but it's been hard to get through this season. For me, it's been hard, but I'm mostly earth and fire. So I don't have a lot of water in my chart. So if you have more water in your chart, it might be a little bit easier, but you're still getting tripped up on something. Let's clarify. I want to see who this King of Pentacles is. I like the clarifying part, because then we get to be I get to be nosy and look into it a little bit more. Yes. So there's an earth sign that either showed back up or you're moving away from it. But I feel like there's some kind of communication from an earth sign. 8 of Wands on the King of Pentacles. And I feel like this person showing back up in your life is painful for you. So let's see. 8 of Cups. Oh, really? Really, Leo? Is that why? Because we're so connected with the Lovers, right? And I'm not making fun of the connection. I understand the Lovers type of connection. Now, this could also be a Gemini that we're talking about with Earth in their chart. But if it is a relationship, for some of you, it's a relationship. For some of you, you're dealing with choices that you have to make. Like you like there are emotional choices that you have to make, because the Lovers can also represent choices, a decision that you need to make, a choice. Okay. But for some of you, this person communicated something to you, said something to you, and or came back from the past, something, and now it's almost like you're having to totally re-heal yourself. This 3 of Swords, it's almost as if before there was only a band-aid on it, and now you've actually like went to the doctor, you got stitches, you put like the magic antibiotic cream on it, right? Like you finally broke down the Tower with the 3 of Swords. You finally broke down and said, I gotta fix this for real this time, and it might be really painful, but I have to. For some of you, an earth sign is telling you that either they're leaving or you're leaving an earth sign. That could be that too. Either way, this is really, it's either the rehash of it is just as painful as the beginning, if not more, or if this is for the first time, this has been really hard for you. But it was really necessary too, because that Tower, I want you, and this is one of the things that we talk about in the alignment workshop that I do. And the last workshop I'm doing is this Sunday, November 10th. But we talk about how rejection is protection. When the universe says no, that usually means that's because there's something better that's coming along. Now, I understand that in the moment and with all of the emotions that you're not thinking, oh, thank you, universe, for taking the person that I truly loved and truly thought that we had this huge connection together. You know, like for some of you, this Tower energy and 3 of Swords, I understand, is devastating. It's very painful, and I get it. But that Tower is evolution. And that Tower, this Tower is actually the stitches and the antibiotic ointment and the gauze and the thing that's really going to heal the 3 of Swords once and for all. That's what that Tower was. And the reason why did this have to happen? Because you don't want to continue, you don't want to go over it. You don't want to keep having that same cycle over and over and over again, where you're constantly reliving your life and reliving your mistakes and like doing it all over again. And you're like, oh my God, what do I need to do differently this time? Well, now you're being shown that, right? And no, it's not comfortable, but it's not always going to be, because sometimes the best growth is done when you are broken into a million pieces. Because then you can learn how to put yourself back together. 3 of Pentacles. You learn how to put everything back together after it's torn apart. The 6 of Cups on the Fool. This is going to require a level of bravery from you, Leo, and I've never heard of anybody saying a Leo was baby, right? You guys are not just like soft people that are going to roll over and die just because bad things are happening in your life. Or, lay around and woe is me, right? You're not doing that. But this is going to require a level of bravery from you because you're really being asked to rehash a past that was so painful, with the Tower and the Three of Swords, so painful that it destroyed you. But now that it's coming back up again, yes, it once destroyed you, but now you see it in a different way. You see it as an experience to rebuild. You see it as, okay, the worst is behind me now. I can move forward. Now I can move forward. So let's see, the Three of Pentacles. And I love getting the Three of Pentacles after we get the Tower. Or I love getting the Three of Pentacles, in the midst of a Tower reading. Now, here's the problem, though. If you go into this and you say to yourself, Five of Pentacles on the Three of Pentacles, I'm going to rebuild, but I'm just going to do it like with the worst kind of attitude and the lack mentality and the feeling like, right? I mean, if that's really what you want to do, but this is not the kind of attitude that you want to have. I understand, and I'm not making light of this moment for you. I'm not making light of this pain for you. I've been there. I've been through this pain before. I'm not making light of it, but I'm also telling you that the more you focus on what you've lost or what you're losing or the things that you have to leave behind or the more you focus on what you don't have, the more of what you don't want to have will continue to show up. You will feel unlucky. You will feel miserable. You will be sad. You will continue to think that the worst is yet to come. You've already been through the worst. You've already been through the worst of it. And it's okay to be vulnerable and to allow yourselves, see what comes out of all of this? The Empress. It's almost as if a new you has been reborn. And the Empress is the mother. She's the creator. She works with she works with nothing. Like she starts with absolutely nothing and goes up from there. Sometimes you have to start at the very bottom. Sometimes you have to come totally crashing down before you can see the beauty of what's coming ahead of you. So we have the King of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Emperor. And the King of Cups. Okay. So I feel like there are two figures in your life, there are two figures in your life, or maybe even three. Well, two figures outside of this situation where it's almost as if you have people in your life that are aren't making this easier. Like they're being a little bit more, it just feels like rough energy. No wonder you guys have been hiding and not saying anything to me, because this is a really tough reading for me to get through for you. The other readings have been pretty bad. And I don't want to redo it because I feel like some of you need this message. I don't want to redo it and pretend that everything's going to be okay, because it's going to be really, really hard. And I feel like there are other people that aren't making it easy on you. In fact, they're almost trying to control you in a way where, so we have the King of Swords, which would be an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, who is just, it's almost like they're just waiting for a fight. And maybe they're waiting on money. Maybe you owe them money. Maybe they owe you money and you guys are fighting about that. Or maybe they're just taking their sweet ass time, or you're taking your sweet ass time and you guys are fighting about that. But we also have the King of Cups over here, who seems to think that he's controlling some situation in your life. The King of Cups and the Emperor. So I don't know who these people are, but they're really not. I feel like one of the biggest things that I want to tell you is, like, I don't think that you can avoid this tower situation or the remnants of it or the rehashing of this tower situation. I don't think you can avoid it. But I do want to say to try to stay clear of people who are not rooting for you right now. I feel like you need to have, because if you allow people to negatively come at you and trigger you, this is going to be a really hard month. I want you to choose again. Every time somebody acts you and wants to trigger you in some way, I don't want you to like, I mean, this is literally having to kill your ego in moments like that, because I know that there are people that I could clearly just be like, ah, like jump down somebody's throat when they trigger me. But instead, I decide to deal with that trigger within myself instead of giving somebody else the power. You see? And so when you choose again and you kind of take a step back, right? The Three of Wands, the World, and the Four of Swords. If you take a step back during this season, if you allow yourself to choose again and to look at a brighter future and to know that this is temporary, this energy is temporary. The energy is temporary. The situation is temporary. The only thing that I want you to really trust in right now is yourself and your heart space. And if you want some help getting there, we do weekly meditations. You can register for one meditation. You get it recorded. You can watch the meditation as many times as you want. We do have an 11/11 gateway meditation and a Taurus full moon ritual next week. Again, the workshop has been amazing. It's already helped like over 100 people. It's really, really exciting. I'm only giving it one more time this year. Cheaper than a reading. It's $44, 2 hours. If you can't make the live, you also get a recorded version of that. Sunday is the last time for that for this year. And I don't know that I'll do it next year. And I'm so proud of it, because every single thing that I did that I'm teaching in that workshop, I lived. Like, I've lived through all of the bullet points on how to manifest your best life and how to live in peace and manifest your best life living in peace. No matter where you are, no matter what situation you've been in, or where you're going with it, the more you are aligned within yourself, the easier it is to not get triggered. So that's why I'm really proud of this workshop. It's like my baby. And so I wanted to offer it one more time this year. So this is the absolute last time that I will be doing it. And I do have reading openings at the end of November, like the last 2 weeks in November. I do have a couple of openings, if you would like to get a personal reading with me. All of that information is in the description box below. I love you guys, man. And gosh, I just want you to find some inner peace. And I think that you're on the road to it, but it's just a matter of allowing yourself to release the past and release the trigger. I think you're on the road to inner peace, but it's a climb. So I love you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Bye.